Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brenda Mahlobo. It is so good to have you over here. Thank you kindly for clicking on my content. It really means a lot to me. Let me wish you well in this beginning of the year, and I hope this year is going to bring you everything that you hope and want and desire for yourself. So let me cut straight to the chase because it is cold and the time is 22:17. It's on the 6th. I'm filming on Friday, the 6th of January. My birthday is coming up. I'm excited. It's my birthday month. So, okay, today, the purpose of this video is to just discuss my academic experience. So please do pardon me. I have a piece of paper over here because I do want to touch on everything that I see as important in as far as this video is concerned. So please do pardon me if I look on the other side. So before I dig deep, before I unpack, I'd like to also send a special shout out to a lady who commented in one of my videos, a video where I was writing an exam in hospital. If you have not seen that, please do go there and check it out if that's the type of content that you like. So I think her name is Kim Dalinjebo. She commented like, I really appreciated her comments. I am going to go through it towards the end of this video, but briefly, I just want to share my academic experience. I've been preempting that I want to do the sit down where I dedicate this entire video to just me sharing about how I have been experiencing going back to school as a mom of a toddler, a working mom that is, and yeah, during the times of load shedding. Okay, my opening statement. Kim asked me quite a lot of questions, and I think from the top of my head, if I remember, I wanted to actually comment and respond, but I felt like there's a lot that I'm going to say. But also, she was kind enough to actually say, please do consider doing a sit down video where you can perhaps respond to these questions further. Firstly, I don't want this to seem like I'm an expert sitting on the other side, giving you guidelines or telling you exactly what's going to work. No, no video of mine is going to come across as that. I am basically going to share based on my experience. So things I have seen work for me. So yeah, things that you can perhaps practice as well. I'm also going to share my struggles. Okay, first things first. Let me share with you the course I'm doing and what sort of like motivated it or pushed me to do it. So I went back to, I not went back to school. I went to school earlier my youth during my youth. So I do have a qualification in something totally different from what I am doing currently at work. So with that as well, I really love that, and I wish there were like avenues for me to pursue it further. But unfortunately, here in South Africa, it's only offered by one university where I studied, Durban University of Technology. UNISA did it prior, even though it was not the same. UNISA had like a similar course offering, but I think 6 years ago, 7 years ago, it was discontinued. I don't know why, but so then that it was clear to me that I needed to study something totally different from what I studied because of number one, I had no other institution offering it further. DUT offers it up until I think master's level now, and I should know this because I am the chairperson of the advisory board in the very same program. But the thing is, you can't join in at like honors level or master's level. You need to have enrolled from the beginning. So the type of qualification that we did was phased out, I think, in 2017, if not 2016, between 2016 and 2017. So now if I want to further it, I need to just go back, which is something I'm not going to do, go to like level first year and take it up, which is something that it's not going to benefit me at the end of the day. But then I thought to myself, what is it that I am going to do? What is it that makes me excited, that blows my mind currently? Or I can just reflect as far back as 2017, where I would like randomly go on the internet and search what is an African country with the strongest military. And at times I'll just go and just Google what is the strongest, which country in Africa has the strongest economy, and I'll then go take it further to like globally. But there's a company called Global Firepower. I remember in 2017 I was like searching the country with the strongest military might, and that has always been a subject that is very close to my heart, something that interests me. Even the type of movies that I enjoy and movies that I gravitate towards are those type of movies that are gonna expose the strength of the intelligence of the country, the strength of the security of the country. I'm just the type of person who just sits and wonder, how safe are we in terms of like military? If we were to go to war, God forbid, for whatever reason, are we ready in terms of personnel and whatever? So I remember back in 2017 just Googling, and I think the top four that I can still remember from the top of my head right now, it was A, it was EA, it was AE, actually AES, um, AEM, AEAS. I'm gonna make it make sense right now. So it was Algeria at number one in terms of the military might. In Africa, it was Algeria, and then E for Egypt, and another A for Angola, and then it was us in South Africa. So in case you've been wondering where I'm filming from, now you know I'm filming from South Africa. So like that used to be me, like not prompted by what I'm studying at school or whatever, anything like that. I've always wanted to understand the position of our country in the globe in terms of economy. And I think at 2017 we were number one, and then it was Nigeria, and then the rest of the other countries. I can't remember from the top of my head. But I recently went back to that Global Firepower company that does these rankings. And I realized, Kuti, hey, a lot has happened. So this is like the recent ranking. Now we have Egypt number one, we have Algeria, we have us, South Africa number three, and then Nigeria. So I assume Nigeria was like number 5 or 6 back in 2017. So those are the type of conversations and type of activities that I'd like embark on, basically just, for fun, for the sake of wanting to know, like I needed to know those things. So that for me, I just knew, August, you know what? Because now there's no way I'm going to go back to varsity and pursue the same qualification that I have, which is something that I enjoyed. It made like a lot of my career. Like my first 2 jobs, I was practicing that. So now I'm thinking to myself, I need to study politics. So it was like, it was not even a decision where I had to really dig deep and think and analyze and battle around it. I knew that I needed to study politics. So went to the UNISA website last year, not last year, not 2022, now 2021 in October, applied, um, got a response, this and that, but I remember I did not get the acceptance letter. Um, while there was still time for me to pursue it. I can't remember what happened, but I remember the following year, which was like not last year, 2021. We were busy at work. It was like hectic. And I remember there was a time where I was away for like a week or so. And then coming back to the office, I don't know what happened. I really don't know. But I remember just going back to my emails and realizing this is the acceptance letter, because I had accepted the offer. If you're quite familiar with how UNISA does their acceptance and whatever, if for admissions, basically. So I missed that. So I missed that semester, like the fourth semester, and then I had to think to myself, what do I do? Okay, fine. I had already been offered a space, but I had to reapply. Had to reapply in the following semester. Um, and fortunately that went smooth as well. So, but I was still doing political leadership and citizenship because it was something I had been accepted on for the previous semester. So I was so determined, I'm gonna do this. Okay, fine. Choosing the modules, I remember saying South Africa and international politics. That for me was something I did not even have to go through. You know, when you see like module like headings, you click on it and then it gives you like a proper layout of what the module is about, so that you know you get a clear picture whether it is something you're going to be interested in studying or whatever. So South African international politics, and then I did what other module I did understanding the states, you know, things like that. I feel more alive now that I am studying this, you know, in my adult years. Because hey, first year going to varsity, a lot can impact or influence that decision. Sometimes it can be a matter of you not qualifying for something that you initially wanted. All of a sudden, I don't know my nose. But it's the story of my life. Whenever I have makeup on, all of a sudden I need to wipe my nose because whatever, I need to mess this up. So, you know, a lot influences your decision back then. Could be a matter of points. It could be a fact that that particular faculty was still taking people. It was not a type of course that a lot of people, you know, would go and do, which is something that is an advantage. We are actually encouraged to go for such streams, academic streams, which is also a conversation for another day. But if I'm going to give you an advice right now, if you are at a stage where you're still trying to decide what is it that you want to study, go for something that you're going to like, something that you're going to enjoy, where you're going to pick up your manual or your study guide and you're reading through, not only because you're trying to memorize for the exam, but you're reading through out of interest. It is feeding, you know, the hunger that you have like inside of you. You read of all these things and you like your mind is like blown and you're thinking to yourself, oh, and you come up with your own examples. Oh, okay, I guess this is, you know, what happened between these two countries, this and that. Might not necessarily be politics, but politics is something that makes me feel the way I feel right now. Haven't given you the background of what I used to do and the things that I used to Google. I used to occupy myself with that type of content because like I'm interested. I want to know. I really want to know. So choosing my modules, it was basically that. So I started with 4 modules. My reason was I don't want to take a lot of modules. It's the first time going back to school after you know, so many years. It's been quite, you know, a break. Also, a lot has happened in between. Yes, at work, would go often go for these trainings, and sometimes we are required to do POE and things like that, you know, but it still does not equate to when you're actually studying for an exam and you have different modules. You go for a course, you do one POE based on that particular subject that you were unpacking or trained on. But now with going back to school, like a professional academic type of experience is totally different. So I do not want to take more modules. So my first advice also, second second advice is that if you're starting out coming back from a break of 4 years, 5 years, or even less, you need to start with at least the modules that you think you're going to manage. It might not be the same case. You might not be working, or you know, you have all the time. I guess you can even do 7 modules there. It's fine, but you need to be realistic. Take an amount that you know you're going to be able to handle. So it was that again. Let me see what points I'm on. UNISA and struggles for long distance learning. Trust me, it's going to be different from when you used to sit in front and attend classes physically. It's going to be totally different because now you're going to rely on the internet, your internet speed, your this and that. In the era of load shedding, that can be quite a lot, but it is doable. I don't want to scare you. It is doable. And I think one of the mistakes I did, which can be quite controversial for the people listening to actually consider this a mistake. I'll tell you, one of the things that I wish I'd never done was joining a group on Facebook. This UNISA groups, some have like 100K following. They differ. really differ, because I think when searching them, I saw like four or five, at least four or five groups, not the page. I'm not talking about the UNISA page. I'm talking about groups that people open and allow other people to join as well. I'm saying this because I used to read, I'd read, especially during the time of exam, people writing exam. I'm the first year student now, first time doing distance learning. And people are writing saying, hey, this app is this app, and then they're posting their pictures. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm still gonna write an exam. Okay, fine. In my mind, I'm thinking I need to take a picture. That picture is something I'm gonna see. See? I'm, I'm not even sure if I'm making sense, but let me explain it this way. Now writing exams, I had like three, I think three of my exams were in December, if not two, and then the other two I wrote in November. So now we are having a virtual class with one of our lecturers, and we're discussing like the administrative stuff of like examination, and then like the content itself, going through different questions, asking questions, etc. So I'm asking him, like, ma'am, I'm worried because I've been seeing people posting their pictures on the Facebook group, like just making fun of the fact that they were looking in anyhow, because you at home could be wearing PJs or whatever, and you're not taking pictures with a camera, a good quality camera. So, and then my the lecturer said no, that only applies for like second years onwards, because they're using Invigilator app. We have actually advised the university that they should consider, for you first years, you should write through the Moodle protocoling tool, which does not necessarily show you that picture. Those pictures are taken, but they're sent to the other side of the system for them to actually monitor whether you're sitting properly, you're not copying or whatever, you're not reading this side or whatever side. So, and then I remember I'd written my first exam, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I was worried all the time. I remember, like, I'm answering questions, and I'm looking at that column, like the space below, and I can't see any picture. So you see, you need to also understand one thing, Uguti. Um, Such institutions like your institutions that allow distance learning could be Northwest University, NISA, not necessarily like throwing shade in particular on UNISA, but you need to understand one thing: such institutions allows everybody to study as long as your English language is good. It's not necessarily somebody who, it does not restrict people who've only went like to tertiary before and have gotten a different kind of experience. You could be straight out of matric and going to that UNISA platform. So, which does not necessarily mean their struggles are going to be your struggles. You are a working individual with quite a good IQ. Some of the challenges that are going to be posted there are not going to apply to you. So I just felt like I needed to get that out of the way, because I felt some type of way, because now I was expecting those pictures for me to see and also laugh at myself if I looked ugly for whatever, because you don't want to be like good and whatever writing an exam at the comfort of your home. The best you can do is to have washed yourself, looking clean and fresh and ready for answering questions. So that, and I think, not that I think, I know my main objective of joining that group, I wanted a study partner, because I felt like I need somebody I can chat to on WhatsApp, because this is quite foreign to me. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. I had questions as well. How are they going to ensure that people are not copying this and that? But academic integrity also needs to play a pivotal role in such institutions. Really, it's a matter of who you are. If you are the type of person who would just cheat her way through as long as you get the results, I don't know. I'm not going to speak much on that, because I've never been exposed to those situations. Like, I don't have first-hand type of experience with those type of things. But what our one of our lecturers told us is that camera, you needed to allow the camera on. That's very important. So that's like easy, because you follow through the prompts. That alone, as well, as a newbie in this uh, type of learning, If you're coming from that era where you needed to sit and have a lecturer physically attend classes, that can be quite intimidating as well. You'll be unsettled for quite some time because you anticipate until you write your first exam, second exam, and you're like, oh, this is not difficult. Really, this is not difficult. So I joined the group because I wanted a studying partner, somebody I can access on WhatsApp and chat. I could not find anybody. I write module codes, write the entire qualification, political leadership, and citizenship. Nobody was doing it. I'm like, hey, this is a group with like 100K members and nobody's doing the course I'm doing. Wow. Anyway, it's fine because it taught me to be self-sufficient. And also, I think I've been fortunate, or it happens with every course as well, to have type of professors and lecturers who present, quite present. You send an email before the end of business, you're getting a reply, which is something that I also needed to note. I don't know what's the perception about UNISA. I am not paid to defend them, or I'm not up here to battle them and just bash them, rather. But it is doable. I'll suggest that you do it. Another thing that made it a bit tricky was the fact that I am a mom of a toddler, a very energetic boy. So I don't have a nanny. I don't have a nanny. I need to repeat that. So my mother has been helping me with my son. So really, some things and in some instances, I just can't. Because now it's my mother. It's not like I have a nanny, like somebody who's dedicated to that. I still need to come back from work and be a mom and be able to have time for my books. How have I been doing it? I think time management, planning your week is going to benefit you. When I say planning your week, I do not necessarily mean you need to have your diary, your pen and paper, and write Monday, I'm going to do this. That's not realistic. I think it's not realistic. Let me just say that for me. I don't think that's going to be realistic. But as long as you're going to have it in your head, or just be open to say, okay, Monday, I'm going to study this. Even if it does not happen. You see, why I'm saying I'm writing things down is not realistic, because sometimes you plan out, this is how my day is going to go, but you don't really know what that day is going to be like. You're just speaking into it. But the reality is that sometimes it cannot work according to all your plans. But you need to be true to yourself and ask yourself a question: how much time am I going to need with this module before I can write exams? I remember South Africa international politics, because it's close to my heart, something I did not even think twice about. I read it as soon as I got um, the study material like online. I printed it out, and later on, I think a month after that, I got like the physical copy of the book. That's another thing. You need to start ahead if you are a UNISA student. You need to print out all your work and start going through it before you can actually get that book. Because the Korea, that's something else. But I think I've touched on that. You still need to work. You still need to go to work. It's been quite a journey. Is it something I regret? Hell no, I don't. Is it something doable with discipline? It is something you can do. Finances. If I did it without a nanny, working and then creating content, also posting every like second week or so, you can do it. If you have a nanny, Kim, you have a nanny, by all means, you can do it. My advice: take like a chunk that you're going to be able to chew. Just don't go all in. Like second semester, I'm going to take 6 more. I'm going to take 2 more modules, because now I'm quite familiar with, I've sort of like have gotten to the hang of things. I've gotten back to that space of being a student. So now I'm going to take 6. So finances. Ooh, ahleka mntaka Bongani. You know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because I'm still owing UNISA, but I am gonna settle. my fees next week. Next week when I get paid, I'm gonna settle everything and I'm gonna pay registration. You see, you don't want to be me right now. Um, it's gonna take a lot from you to achieve this. It is something that nobody can take away from. Once you have that qualification, it is yours. Nobody can take that away from you. They can destroy the actual document, but you're gonna apply for another copy. But ngoba lento, it's something valuable, something significant. It is also going to require you to invest more into it in terms of finances, and you're going to feel it. I had an option of applying for a work bursary, and I did not take it. I don't know why, really. I don't know why, because there was an initial closing date, and I got to know about it beforehand. And then there was another extension. Also, I did not apply for it. I can't really put my finger on it as to why I did not apply. Yes, definitely, it's not that much relevant to what I do. But to be quite honest with you, there were provisions where they say if you are going to be studying something that is not relevant to what you are doing, you needed to motivate still for the department to pay for your fees. So I'm not going to sit here and tell lies ukuthi just because I'm studying something that's not really relevant. But at the same time, politics is not it's not something that, what's the word? Akusiyo, it's everywhere. It can cut across a number of disciplines. You know what I mean? So but still I did not apply for it. I don't know. Now that I need to pay 8.4, I don't know. Now that I need to pay 8,400 or so, and I need to take my car to service, and the quotation says it was 5,400. Let's laugh together. Let's laugh together. But you know what? I'm going to register. So I'm going to settle my balance, and I'm going to pay registration for my 6 modules that I'm going to be taking. But rest assured, I'm going to come back here and tell you it is on. So you see, the type of monies that I need to cough out, I don't like paying for things, like I don't. But if they matter, by all means, I'm gonna go to bed broke and be sleeping in next to my son and be like, yeah, baby, at least I've done something significant, something that is valuable, something. It's not like I bought hair or sneakers or whatever clothes. I have a lot of clothes, but we still buy. So finances, hey, another discipline. You'll need to be disciplined. There are things that you're no longer going to do anyhow every month. And if you are a type of person, I remember there was a time in my life, I think I was working at DUT. Every month and I used to get a MAC lipstick. And back in the days, I think it was 180 or 200, because now I think it's 240. I'm not sure now post COVID, because now the beauty space is trying to recover their monies. I don't want to make this video longer than 35 minutes, so I'm about to close this. So before I close it, let me go back to a comment. I'm gonna ask my questions got Kim, so that I see if I covered everything or I still need to touch on other things as well. But go ahead if you're thinking of going back to school and you're looking at your circumstances and you're like, money, this, go do it. You're gonna, because I think it depends on the number of modules you take. If you take even lesser, just to motivate yourself, you can even start with 2 modules just to motivate yourself. You're gonna feel so fulfilled. You uzozibona ngathi nje ngaze ngayenza into ebalulekile empilweni yami. It's gonna change your self-esteem. You're gonna feel accomplished by the virtue of just doing it. Imagine a time where sewuphethe qualification yakho bekushaya ngento la. So hi Brenda, I'm reading a question yaka Kim. Hi Brenda, hope you well. Would really love to hear more about your experience of being a working mom. as well as a student. Definitely going back to school next year. Luckily, I have a live-in nanny, but I'm still scared. Would love to know more. How did you manage? Did you complete the Oh, I'm still in the process of attaining my qualification. So that question was, did you complete your qualification in minimum time, or did you spread it out a bit? I think it's going to be minimum time because I'm aiming for 3 years, not longer than that. So hence I'm going to take 6 now. But moving on, I'm going to be set for another 5 modules, I think. Yeah, tips you might how did you juggle it, finances, etc. Tips you might have, please. Any golden nuggets you can share would be great, while also hearing about your experiences as well. I think I've covered most of the things. You're going to need to sacrifice the things that you love the most. We know our habits. If you are a type of person like every month you buying lunch at work, which is something I'm guilty of, you buying lunch at work. Tell me one thing. We go to Pick and Pay for like, we go there, we wanna buy we're going there to buy milk, fresh milk. Because that's something we buy like regularly. We can't have fresh milk for the entire month. No, we can't. Not unless um uthenge long life. You go there, you wanna buy milk for like less than 30 rands. And you get there and you realize, oh no, also I needed mixed veg. You go to the vegetable aisle, you take that, and you're like thinking, oh, my son is running out of yogurts, but I still have yogurts at home. And then the less I know, I'm paying 500 rands. That's like one day. Not necessarily saying you're going to be consistent, but you might go back there to buy bread towards the end of the week. And then you find yourself thinking, oh, I need hot chocolate. I want to buy hot chocolate. It's a bit gloomy. It's winter. I need hot chocolate. But do you really need hot chocolate? We living our lives to like, nyasebenza, I need to spoil myself. But when does it get to be excessive? That's not the word I'm looking for, but I'm going to seek you for that right now. When does it get to be excessive? I'm telling you, by the end of 2 weeks, you would have spent 2,000 out of your budget, outside of your budget. For me, it's been very tricky because I am somebody discussing finances now. I am somebody who drives to work every day. I have an hour distance to drive, 2 hours to drive from home to work and back. So if I have this month and I'm paying all my bills, I still need to have money left for gas. Now, the thing is, with that money, gas is not something that you can just pay all at once. I can't have a full tank i5 or i3 all at once. I need to have one full tank and I need to have a surplus as well for when my gas is running out, and it's been running out a lot. Cost of living high. I think that's another video. So you know what I mean? I needed to be somebody who's disciplined with money, very disciplined, because I need to have cash reserved for gas. And I'm telling you, I am driving 76 Ks or 77 Ks single trip times two. That's like, like a week. I'm running down my kilometers on my car. From now, time to time, I need to take my car to service. So that's another financial obligation. So you're going to have to ask yourself questions, or you're going to need to sit down and do your own financial planning. Because Yazin, I can buy grocery once at home. I need to cook. But then again, I'm tired. I've been driving, coming back from work. If my mom, by most of the time, I come back to mom having cooked. It's just, I need to see to my son as well. I singama-superhero nje singabantu besifazane. I don't know. Who's whining us to be like a superheroes? Women are my favorite people ever. Because, what we see with our mothers, your mom would tell you she doesn't have money. But by the end of the week, you see her doing things and you're like, huh, this woman. I think we are moving towards that phase of our life. That's like a city con asnamal, and then all of a sudden we're making things happen. So Kim, go ahead, and everyone else who's thinking of going back to school, you can do it. it's gonna make you a different person, man. There's just something, the sense of accomplishment that you're gonna feel. You're gonna be a different mom. You're gonna start dreaming again. You will see a lot of possibilities. It's gonna open your mind. Hi, Ngege, man. It's gonna empower you. Go back to school. And this is it for me. Thank you so much for watching up until this far. If you've enjoyed my video, please give it a huge thumbs up and please do not forget to subscribe.